The 30-member Joint Parliamentary Committee on the Personal Data Protection Bill 2019, headed by BJP MP PP Chaudhary, presented its much-awaited report recommending several changes to the draft bill. Some of the key proposed changes to the bill include having a single data protection authority for personal and non-personal data and provisions for localization and cross-border flows of data. MPs including Manish Tiwari, Mahua Moitra, Jairam Ramesh and Derek O'Brien gave dissent notes to the committee. Congress MP Manish Tiwari rejected the bill in its entirety, citing an inherent design flaw. This is what he has to say.
The bill, as it stands constituted, splits the entire digital universe into two halves. While the bill will apply in all its force and rigor to the private sector, for the government space, there are exemptions and breakout clauses and escape hatches which have been built into the design of the bill. In my limited understanding, as a lawyer who's been practicing for over 3 decades now, a fundamental right is principally enforceable against the state. And if there is a legislation which actually exempts the state in its entirety from the rigors of the data protection regime, I wonder as to how it will ever stand the test of constitutionality. Clause 35, Clause 11 of the bill are extremely problematic. Coupled with that, the entire penalty and compensation regime is very onerous, and it will kill the startup sector in this country in its entirety.
The contentious Clause 35, highlighted by Tiwari, gives wide-ranging powers to the government to exempt any of its agencies from the purview of the Data Protection Bill for purposes of security of the state, friendly relation with foreign states, and public order. While the bill seeks to promote a free and fair digital economy, it increases the compliance burden on startups with its burdensome rules on data storage and transfer. The committee's chairperson PP Chaudhary has said his panel suggested enough safeguards to protect individual privacy, but it cannot override national security. We spoke with Apar Gupta, Executive Director of Internet Freedom Foundation, who provided elaboration on the exemptions given to the government and also threw some light on the stringent data localization proposals.
What is very noticeable in the JPC's recommendation is the security interest of the state, which has been made paramount. So, for instance, it provides for the non-consensual gathering of data by government departments under Clause 12, which has been retained. And if you look at Clause 35, it provides the government a very wide ambit of power to exempt government departments completely from the application of any of the safeguards, protection, remedies which come under the Data Protection Act. And one important part more which solidifies its power are the powers of the regulatory body, which is called a Data Protection Authority. Now, this authority, in exercise of several of its functions, has to act in consultation with the central government. Its members are appointed by the central government, and also there are certain clauses by which the central government can make policies which will be overriding the protections under the Data Protection Act. So this puts a large question mark on whether the Data Protection Authority will be able to even enforce the safeguards, the protections, the rights which emerge from the data protection law against a government department. The data localization aspect of the JPC report is incredibly concerning, and it ignores any of the negative impacts which may be there on innovation, for instance, in terms of internet protocols and how it may lead to a form of localization which breaks the open web. The objectives of data localization of the JPC report actually list objectives such as national security, employment generation, and bargaining power, but actually have no underlying supporting basis or evidence for any of these statements. Clauses 33 and 34 with respect to data localization calls on the central government to prepare and pronounce an extensive policy on data localization. And it also expands the grounds under which transfers of sensitive and critical personal data from India can be restricted. The government will have an ultimate say on what actually gets transferred out of India and which data can also not be mandatorily stored in India and never be transferred outside.
The panel has also recommended that all social media platforms that do not act as intermediaries should be treated as publishers and be held accountable for the content they host. The Joint Parliamentary Committee's recommendations are not binding on the government. The Centre has the option to make changes to the draft bill before tabling it in the Parliament. But in its current state, the bill may undermine the privacy rights of citizens.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.